welcome to this week's live weekly warm-up, where I go over a warm-up exercise for you to practice and implement into your warm-up routine for the week and see what kind of an impact it has on your playing. This week is a little bit of an extension or a little bit of a follow-up, or at least goes very well with the one from last week. So if you haven't seen last week's live weekly warm-up, you can go to the Quick Start Clarinet YouTube page and look for the one that was uploaded a week ago, which was January 5th, I believe, January 4th. January 6th. So last week, the live weekly warm-up on January 6th on the Quick Start Clarinet YouTube page. That would be probably the easiest place to find the one from last week. I was really excited about that one because it was sort of this New Year's resolution, New Year's challenge that I gave you to practice in your playing every time you practice in 2020. And it's just a simple one note long tone, but I think it'll have a huge impact on your playing. So if you've been on this, how that's been going for you. There are a couple comments on YouTube that people have been really liking that exercise. So I hope it's been helpful for you. I've been enjoying doing it in my practice. So if you haven't seen that one, go to the Quick Start Clarinet YouTube page and find that live weekly warm-up from January 6th. Now for the one today, this is actually going to be an articulation exercise, but it has some similar things as the one note long tone, where we're really going to be focusing on getting the beginnings of notes to sound really good and practicing this articulation. I call this exercise short to fast because what we're going to be doing is playing a chromatic scale, and we're going to start with very short notes. So it's just going to be eighth note subdivisions at a pretty slow tempo. So these are going to be really short notes with lots of space in between them. And then we're going to gradually speed up the subdivision, but keep the tempo the same. And as the subdivision gets faster, the notes will not be able to be quite so short because they're getting faster, but you're going to be tonguing more quickly with the similar kind of tongue motion. So let me demonstrate how this goes a bit. And I'm just going to do one octave of the chromatic scale and just go up, but you can take these patterns all the way up the full range of the instrument if you want through the chromatic scale. You can do it just one octave up and down, two octaves up and down. It's sort of up to you dependent on your skill level and how much effort you want to put into your articulation, how much you want to do this and how far you want to take this exercise. But I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate this on just the first octave of the chromatic scale starting on E. So I'm going to start with just eighth notes at a pretty slow tempo. This is great to do with a metronome because it also practices your subdivisions and playing steadily with a metronome. And you should probably do it around 60 to 70 beats per minute. You can go as much slower than that as you want. Probably don't really need to go any faster than 70 beats per minute because by the end of it, we're going to be doing 30-second notes. So that would be equivalent to tonguing 16th notes at 140, which there's not a lot of people who can do that consistently, and there's not many times that you have to go any faster than that, or really even that fast in many pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate this sort of in that 60 to 70 beats per minute range. I'm not going to be doing it with metronome because I have my phone recording things, so I unfortunately can't use the metronome on my phone, and the metronome doesn't sound great over the recording anyways, but you'll get the idea of how to do this sort of subdivision exercise steadily. Yeah, and these super short notes are actually probably the trickiest. For me personally too, short notes are a little tricky, but just like any other warm-up, I'm going to do it over and over till I feel really confident that I'm able to get the sound that I want to come out. Because if I just go through this exercise without getting the sound I want, then it's a waste of time, just like any other warm-up exercise. And now triplets. 16th notes. And now quintuplets. So I'm going to think university, university, university. Now sextuplets. And now septuplets. I'm going to do that last little bit so I can get all of those notes to sound good. And then finally, 30-second notes. So that's pretty fast. I might have not been going quite exactly 70 beats per minute. I might have been starting a little bit faster than that, so that made it more difficult. Also, if you can only make it up to like sextuplet subdivisions, it's still good and still useful to practice doing this exercise, and you'll still get a lot of benefit out of it. A couple tips and tricks as you're focusing on this exercise and trying it out. One, make sure that you're getting a great articulation and getting the sound that you want to come out, especially on those short notes. The trick with the short notes is that we're still moving our tongue actually very quickly, so our tongue comes off and back on the reed very quickly, dot, 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 so that we're practicing that great elasticity and springiness in our tongue so that it's moving quickly. And then as we go faster, da, 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 da. The tongue's actually moving basically the same speed. It's just doing that on-off motion more quickly than it was in the eighth note version. So make sure that you're having great control of the tongue motion and great support of the air. So that will be the main factor in getting the sound to come out, both when it's short and when it's fast. So if the air support isn't there, then it's going to be lacking. If you want a great little wacky exercise for air support, go to quickstartclarinet.com/exercise. And I have a little free training there that you can sign up for that goes over a really fun exercise to practice that air support. And it's really great for working on articulation too, that exercise is. So if you want more training, you can check that out. Finally, if you want to make this more advanced than what I just did, do it up into the higher notes. Do it either 3 octaves up to the high E, even 2 octaves, getting some more notes up here. Or you could even go full range all the way up to like a G or the high C above that if you want a lot of challenge to really get your altissimo notes sounding great. So I hope you find this exercise helpful. Remember, if you want more warm-up exercises and more information about playing the clarinet, first step, go to quickstartclarinet.com and click the little red bar in the top to join the official Quick Start Clarinet community. Second of all, go to quickstartclarinet.com/nextgenbook1, the number 1, and you can find out more information about the Next Generation Clarinet Method book that has tons of information about playing the clarinet and tons of different warm-up exercises for you to work through. So good luck doing this short to fast articulation, and I look forward to seeing you next week in next week's live weekly warm-up exercise.